Hello, hello. Welcome to the Squirrel Circus podcast. I'm the Rainbow Squirrel, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Ian and Andy the Moss Guardian. And today we're going to be talking about All Tomorrows, the fascinating sci-fi, yeah, I guess you can call it indie story that has taken the internet by storm for years now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's one of those stories that really make you think like what the fuck. You end the I think the more popular video, or at least the one that everyone knows, is the one on Alt Shift X YouTube channel, where the narrator kind of just uh, does tells a whole story. So I think that's what we all have seen. I haven't read
Sure.
the whole book yet. I would really like to read the book, the original, but
Okay.
uh,
So it's a book with illustrations?
yeah,
Yes.
It's
it's a
an illustrated book?
Yes.
yeah, basically
Okay. And
for
there's
all
YouTube videos about the book, no?
mhm,
Yes. All
Okay.
featuring the illustrations, which are amazing.
yeah, it's very good stuff. It's amazing art. And it's also a very good story. It's very creative. It's very creative, and I do think there's some archetypical elements that are brought into it that are pretty interesting. So I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about in this case. I think.
I mean,
Mm,
something that really strikes me about the book is it almost feels like a call to action. It's like these are all of the possible futures that humans can encounter. Which one are we going to aim for? And as far as I'm
Mm-hmm.
concerned, that's an easy answer. We should aim to be like the Asteromorphs. That's the
like the
pinnacle of.
asteromorphs. What was the asteromorphs species?
So they're the star people are almost
Huh?
entirely wiped out,
Yeah.
and the only ones that survive do so by living
Oh, the ones
inside
that.
asteroids.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
I think those are named the spacers, and then as the spacers evolve, they become the asteromorphs.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay, so how many tomorrows are there? How many possible
Uh,
outcomes does this book depict?
A
I
lot.
didn't count them, but we can
A
try.
lot.
Like less than 100.
It's less than 100 and more than
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's interesting because
It's less than
the
50.
the asteromorphs are the only non non-edited human being, non-artificially edited human being
Oh.
future, which is interesting because
They're the only non-Q edited, but the star people were already edited by humans.
yeah, I mean, but they edited themselves, that's
Yes,
that's what I mean, like externally edited.
yes,
And
Are
yes.
you
that if that
are you
makes more
using
sense.
the stereotype of the star person, or do they actually say
No,
star?
they
No, no,
do
like
call
they're
them
called the
star
star
people.
people. I
And it's
think
Oh.
interesting.
someone
It's
beat you
interesting.
to
I,
the
I
name.
actually I actually had
Tell
to
me
read
more. Tell
yesterday
me
only
more.
to
So basically, humans colonize Mars, and there's a bunch of wars between humans and Mars because of racism, basically. Like the,
Okay.
the humans don't like the Martian race, and the Martians don't like the human race, the
Yeah.
Earth race. So they fight a bunch of wars. And before they destroy each other, they're like, okay, how about we just genetically engineer a race of people that's going to colonize all of space in the name of humankind? And they call
Oh.
those the Star People.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Someone beat you
which
to
is
the
which
name.
is
I'm sorry.
isn't that interesting? Because I was thinking about it. Right now I was watching the video, and it struck me pretty hard. I didn't remember they were called the Star People, but it wouldn't be like too far fetched the idea that the a war the magnitude the Martians and Earthlings had to survive, because they didn't do like direct uh like live combat. They used to just send machines to destroy each other. And I guess that's definitely like the peak of how destructive a war can get without wiping the whole humanity away. So this must actually create a change in consciousness, in the species. And what we think of as star people, like the Andy the Moss Guardian star person
The archetype.
archetype, could be really related to that, right? The moment where you notice that the war is just completely obsolete, right? When the whole species notices that war is completely obsolete, it must notice other stuff about itself, right? Because war comes from, I mean, it comes from greed, it comes from basically the eye, right? I mean, without the eye, war wouldn't exist. And the eye not only represents a war, but it also represents a lot more stuff.
Hmm.
Don't know.
So are the
Hmm.
star people actually are a star people? Like that's an interesting thought.
Uh,
Are the star people a new like evolved uh form of humanity where the whole species are what we call star people or Andy's
I don't
star
think
Let's
so.
people?
go.
You
Maybe
don't
we
think
we
so?
should get back to what we define as the archetype of star people, no? Like for me, what has stuck through most through all of my like rethinking of the of the concept is that a star person moves by its own inertia, meaning that it has its own goals and that personal goals, right? And isn't in or like isn't moved by the externals, more like the internals, right? And the I people, they move and they navigate life depending on what external factors there are, right? So like society expectations is like the thing that moves I people the most, and the star people wouldn't care at all about that because they move by themselves. That's what I think the most basic concept of what defines a star person, no? And I would argue that star people do make war. I really think not the wars that we're seeing on Earth or we have seen on Earth. But I do see them capable of starting a war and not that doesn't depend on I people, you know?
I mean, two things, three things, two and a half. First, yeah, definitely there are, I can think of at least one war that was waged and started by star people in the archetypal sense, and that was the American Revolution. Uh, That
The American Revolution.
that was definitely like, you're not gonna tell us what to do.
Okay.
That's one thing. The other
But
thing
who
is,
against who was the American Revolution started?
Against the British, no?
yeah, I think the British provoked it, but they provoked it by being I people.
Uh,
By saying like we're gonna regulate this, we're gonna
That's
regulate that, and you have to abide by this, and the Church of
I
England,
Yeah,
and
I
see.
na na
mean
na.
that's
I
where I'm
see.
going. That's where I'm going. Like star
Okay.
people against star people. Is that a thing? Like would
Yeah.
star people
Star
create
people.
a war against other star people?
Ah.
Okay, that complicates it. That definitely
But I mean
complicates it.
the idea is not that. The idea is not that there won't be more wars in the future. The idea is that this war was so tough it made society a completely starved people society. But why would you think that's not the case?
Well, there was the other thing that star people, in the archetypal sense, are
Hmm.
moved by their own inertia. But the star people in all tomorrows are literally engineered by society for the purposes of society. And
Yeah.
then when they're born in distant planets, they fall in love with machines,
Of
like
machines.
literally, like Oedipus machine complex. Like it doesn't, they don't seem too self-driven until they become the spacers, the asteromorphs.
This, but not all of these star people that are brought into other solar systems fall in love with the machines, right?
But
Like this
why
is
would you
this is
argue?
just like one case, but
Hmm.
they do send um they do send well, not civilization, they do send human DNA, and they do send the how could you say, I mean,
Like
yeah,
everything necessary for gestation.
yeah, they send the human species to other solar systems where this doesn't happen, and those become into a utopian star, well, into like a star people galactic utopia, right? I mean, at least that's what I remember and what I understand.
Right.
It,
So you're saying that they are star people because they were born from a realization that the eye doesn't work.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know
know.
if the book gets to that level of detail. Like when it describes the utopia of the star people in the context of all
Yeah,
tomorrows,
no, that's
it
true.
doesn't say like, and these people were self-driven and
That's very much
self-moving
true. Yeah,
and they disregarded societal expectations. It doesn't get to that level of detail, so we can't know.
Yeah.
that's very true. That's very true. But it's an interesting thought.
Yeah. I
Nevertheless,
like the name.
I
I
think it's
like
an
the name.
interesting thought. Yeah.
On the other hand, the asteromorph gods were definitely star people as well. Here's a question: were the Q star people?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
What? I
I
didn't get that.
The Q?
The Q is a non-human species that finds they have like this religious obsession where they have to they need to edit everything in the universe, and they need to like change everything, and they need to, so they find humans and they just see them as one more factor of the universe, so they edit them genetically into all these different
Oh
like
yeah.
subspecies of
Yeah.
humans,
Into all tomorrows.
and to the old tomorrow.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
like that's another possibility, or that's the origin of the whole plot.
It's the whole plot.
it's a whole plot.
Okay, now
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, like
All
it's not
right.
all tomorrows as in different timelines these different things
Oh,
happen. It's all
okay.
tomorrows as in these Q alien things come and edit humanity into 1,000 different things. And those
Okay, okay,
are
okay.
all the tomorrows of humanity.
hmm,
All right, all right, all right. Now I understand.
yeah. And you have one of the tomorrows, which is actual on well Q unedited human, right? And those are the what were they called again?
The spacers,
The
spacers.
spacers. Yeah.
There's some
But
really
why
horrific like edits. There's one
Hmm.
like across the wars that were waged between the Star People and the Q. One planet was particularly difficult for the Q to conquer, so they punished the humans by turning them into what's called the colonials, and it's just like
Yeah,
this
no, those are nasty. Those are nasty.
this how do you call it? This mat of like
Human flesh.
unmoving bodies that just
What?
process waste, all of
What?
them interconnected with each other.
Ew.
There's yeah,
And the I think that's not even the bad part. The bad part is that the queue uh doesn't change their consciousness. They leave them with a consciousness and with
No.
eyes.
No.
And they make them extremely efficient. So they just start to propagate and they just propagate
Wow.
cover the fucking whole planet.
Well, I mean,
For
it's like
millions of years.
a lichen humans, no? I
yeah,
But
mean,
it's interesting because they evolve into something very different, right?
yeah.
Like
They evolve
eventually after
into
millions and millions of years, they evolve into having different colonies with different functions that kind of work in symbiosis with each other to
oh,
form beings that are constructed by different consciousness and different like
oh,
individuals.
wow.
the
Yeah,
modular people. They're
the modular people. Yeah, that's what they're called.
fucking Hegel and Plato's wet dream. That's exactly how they imagine society. Like everyone is like a cell, and the brain does this, and the eyes do that, and the feet do
Yeah.
this. It's like, oh, here you go, Hegel. Here's your fucking wet dream. It's horrifying. I hate it. I hate it.
And Rainbow Squirrel, why do you think we should aim for one specific tomorrow? Like what convinced you?
Well, it's the one where humanity doesn't get as fucked.
Hmm.
Fucked
Like,
in what sense? Because everything is relative, right?
uh, no, I don't know. Like, there's
Explain.
I think there's a different degree of getting fucked between like having to live in zero G in asteroids, which is what the spacers and the asteromorphs do, and getting turned into human lichen.
But I mean, if you didn't have any experience of being a regular human and you were just born into it, no matter how big your conscious is, if you don't know that you were supposed to walk, you are not going to be suffering. Like you're going to live like that and you're going to evolve and you're like that's what I mean
Oh.
with relative.
I mean, the Q designed it as a way to torture
Hmm.
all of humanity. I guess the
Yeah, I
second
mean,
best tomorrow would be the hedonists, the satyriacs. That would be
What
great.
are those?
Oh, please, Ian.
wait, which ones? Which
The
ones?
hedonists and the satyriacs.
The hedonists and the satyriacs. Those were the. Oh, I forgot what the hedonists were. Are
They're the
those
best.
the.
So basically, they're purely designed to be like retarded and feel pleasure constantly.
That's true, that's true,
that's the
yeah,
best
that's
human
true, that's
outcome.
true.
Like why wouldn't you be stupid and have a lot of orgasms?
Yeah, like that. That's their life, basically.
That's
They just live
amazing.
on a tropical island.
That's
Just
the best human outcome. That's the best one.
no, I would rank
Yeah.
that second to the asteromorphs because they become like gods. They can telepathically move things with their mind, and they
Oh,
end up ruling all of the galaxy.
oh. Imagine we are the only living thing on this universe, or at least the reachable universe before it ends.
Living planet, I would say, because.
No, obviously we're all living. What I mean is like
That
it
don't
would
mean
be
alive.
so cool. It would be so cool if like everything we imagined like aliens being superior to us would be like flipped, right? We're the superior ones and we rule the like in different species like the old tomorrows. It would be so cool that humans end
Yes,
up like being masters of of the galaxies.
But I think
Encounter pigs.
one of the main messages of all tomorrows is if we get to that point where we can edit the galaxy however we want, we should do it peacefully. We should do it in a way that improves the lives of the things we're editing.
Hmm.
And if we find agency elsewhere, free will, reason, then our edits should never go against the agency or the reason of the other creatures we find in the
Yeah.
cosmos.
Respect overall, no?
Yeah,
Hmm.
which is what the Q
Which is
completely
what the Q
lacks.
kind of fucks up with. Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. That's a very interesting. So tell me about more of these humans that stuck out to you, some interesting ones.
I think the mantellopes are very interesting. I like the mantellopes. The
Why?
mantellopes were they were evolved into being like antelopes, like four-legged uh, herd herd creatures, but their consciousness was well, I don't know if their consciousness was kept, but they were
But
bred to
yes,
be like singers and memory retainers. Yeah, yeah, their consciousness was kept,
yes,
right? But
fully.
yeah,
Oh,
and so they had human consciousness, they had a human mind, but they did not have hands to use tools to make stuff. And so they formed this whole religion around like this pointless existence, right? And this like pointless having a consciousness and not being able to take advantage of it and use it. uh, and I think it's funny because they eventually evolved into losing their consciousness because I mean, but
I
why
have a
why would
theory.
they
I have
evolve?
a theory. I
Why
have a
would they
theory.
evolve to
Why?
lose their
Why?
consciousness and not to have hands? That's my question.
Why would they what?
Why would they
Ah,
evolve
that
to
okay.
become
I
dumber
just understood. I
and
just
not
understood. I have a theory
evolve
for you.
hands?
I have a theory. I have because while you were talking about this, I understood. If you don't have hands, thank you, Pookie.
Oh, la
If you
pizza.
don't have hands,
How
food
can you
doesn't
eat
come
pizza?
too easily. Food doesn't come too easily, right? And what does the brain need to harvest to have to contain that amount of consciousness is a lot of energy, especially protein, right? Especially like very dense in energy. And the what brought us to this level of consciousness, like nowadays, is that we were able to use our hands to create tools to then eat better, right? And that nourishment nourished our brains got bigger, and that's how we are now, right? But if you evolve to not have these tools and you're a herd species, like you basically are forced to become a herbivore or or something, right? And so that limits the amount of energy that can go to your brain, and you evolve to kind of maximize the like optimize the brain's energy usage, right? So you lower the energy brain so that you don't have to like hunger, right? So that makes
Yeah,
sense, no? Evolution.
Yeah, that's.
yeah, that makes
I think
sense.
that yeah. So then it's interesting that the idea in like an our evolution, and if we look like back, does intelligence come before hands, or do hands come before intelligence?
I mean, looking at our own evolutionary trajectory, we had hands way before we had intelligence. Like scorpions have hands.
That's very interesting. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
hands.
Like the trajectory from our evolution to the mental lobes,
But now let's
is
look at
like a
like
roller coaster.
dolphins intelligence. Because they're proven to be very, very intelligent too, like dolphins, and they don't have hands.
Oh, there is another very interesting species, the swimmers. The
Hmm.
swimmers are basically like dolphins, but they do not keep their consciousness. They evolve consciousness
Yeah. Like it gets
because
taken away and they evolve it again.
and they evolve it back. Yeah, but unlike dolphins, these guys do learn how to create technology, and the way they create technology is by evolving other species to use them as tools. So they evolve like living homes, right? They find, I don't know, mollusks which they like genetically modify to become bigger and to become like homes. So they like start creating cities made from living organisms that they artificially evolved to
And it gets
work certain
crazy.
functions.
They have like TVs,
Mhm.
radios that are just evolved biological organisms that they selectively
Yeah,
What?
bred for that function.
and
Yeah, it's
eventually
insane.
they and eventually they actually breed spaceships, and they do leave to the stars. They do leave their planet, which is very interesting. It
How?
really
I don't know.
How do you prepare a living organism to meet to meet the environments that are not possible in the planet? How do you evolve something to be resistant to conditions that are not present while evolving? Like that doesn't work. That's the complete opposite of like what's supposed to happen. What? How do
Science
you bring a
fiction.
living being
Science
out of
fiction.
Earth and expect no, man. Well, they're
and
smarter
it's
than us. They're smarter than us, that's for sure.
and it's interesting because it kind of also makes me think of the Q. They have a pretty similar attitude to the Q, right? Because the Q kind
Mhm.
of they also did this to humanity, kind of in the same with the same purpose of making humans into, well, they didn't make all humans into tools, but many of them, like the mantelopes for example, they did breed them to use them as memory retainers, and to use them as um
And the colonials, waste
and the
disposal.
colonials, yeah, as waste disposal. Yeah, that's true.
So they genetically edited human beings for their own use, no? For memory
Mhm.
retaining? Like
Yeah,
how does
I mean,
that
not
go?
not all of them, but some of them they
They
did.
transplanted the memories like a
They just
library,
tell
like
them
a li
stuff, and the other
uh
humans are like, well, there's nothing I can do. I can just remember
Yeah,
that.
they just
Okay, all right.
And
they
if they ask
remember.
me to remember and I don't do it properly, then they're gonna torture me in some horrible way.
No, they're gonna
Horrors
breed
beyond your
someone who
imagination.
they're gonna breed someone who actually can, who actually does. It doesn't
Yep,
need to be a fight. They just get, oh, okay, you don't work, like, okay, goodbye.
we'll just kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're evil. They're straight up evil. And then there's this other evil human species called the gravitals who get turned into sort of cavemen by the Q, but they the Q don't remove all of the ruins and all of the technology from their planet. So imagine what a caveman would do with nukes.
No, that's
Wow.
insane. That's insane. I
But
didn't
It's
like
get to that
horrible.
part right now, but,
caveman as in also less intelligent, like less
Yes.
evolved.
yeah,
Oh,
Yes,
they
yeah,
wow.
like
That's very
a
interesting.
million years ago type caveman.
Okay, damn.
Pretty bad. And they developed this whole technology of gravity manipulation, and they use it to destroy all of the other humans. Like the
Fuck
fish
yeah.
people with the
Fuck
breeding
yeah.
tools, they destroy
yeah.
them. They destroy the what's another one they destroy? They destroy the snake people who come from, oh my God, that's another
You know
horrifying
what it
species.
reminds me of? It reminds me of Baby Boss. Not the movie, but like the concept of having a baby that's a boss.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. A
Okay.
very paranoid baby. Oh, it's horrible. No, oh my God, the worms. One of the all tomorrow's modifications that the Q makes to some humans is they turn them into literal worms, like no limbs, just feet, like and like feet stuck together like this, like a
Yeah,
friggin' flap, and they're the size of an arm.
yeah, and they just
So like this is the head.
they're yeah, and they're
Mm.
brought into a planet where it's like very hot, right? So they have to live under the ground, which is also pretty interesting.
Damn.
But
But
they evolved too.
that's not a
They
human
evolved too,
anymore.
and they evolved pretty well, right?
Yep.
They evolved into the snake people. And what were the features of the snake people? They
They used to have these cities where you can literally slither from place to place, and it's all very tight and very interconnected and chaotic. And they used to
yeah.
wear clothes and they had literature. The image from the book shows the snake person. It looks like fucking Voldemort, holding a pipe with its tail and smoking
Uh-huh.
it. It's pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
that's true. That's true.
Damn. That's very creative. That's very,
Oh yeah,
very
the
creative.
illustrations are insane. They're so good, so horrifying, so National Geographic ass way of depicting different human species. It's fun.
Mm,
It's really fun. Who else is there? There's the Insectopha guy, who literally means the bug eaters, and they become an advanced civilization, but then the Gravitals come along and do another round of humanification on the poor guys and turn them into tools and slaves through genetic modification. Like the poor insectophaga can't catch a break.
there's also this one planet where there are two different bred human species. One of them is a predator, and the other one is a prey, which is also very interesting. And the predators also evolve into into a society that is driven by the idea of violence. So it's like they have a very conflictive civilization where they are constantly in war, and they are constantly because it's like part of the reality, which is also interesting. Like I just wonder, like what would the religion of these people be? Uh,
The Spartan religion, just Ares,
Spartan,
war,
yeah, and just
violence.
full blown war and violence. And then they have at some point they divide into two different ideologies, right? Like
Yeah,
one ideology does kind of start understanding and kind of generating ethics against violence and against, and then there's like the conservative ideology, and they like almost they go into like the brink of war. But it's funny that they reconciliate. They actually um
I don't want peace. I want problems
I have an interesting
always.
thought. An interesting thought. Let's see if I can say it well. But do you guys think that moral principles are um are connected with the environment in which intelligent species have to survive in? Like, do you think moral values change if the conditions change? For example, we have learned that peace is better than war because with war, less people exist and a lot of pain, right? And and it's a chaos, right? So we like peace more than war because evolutionary will make us like thrive, no? But now in a planet where intelligent life is very, very far away, like very apart, or I don't know what conditions are should be different, but do you guys think that the same moral values apply to them?
I think
Is it like a
as long as
universal thing?
there's a similar underlying structure of reason, then moral values, or at least ethics, is broadly the same. Different environments lead to the discovery of those ethical foundations in a different way, but the foundations themselves are um, objective and almost eternal. Like it took a long time in society for um, rape, for example, to be considered a bad thing, especially in times of war. But
Hmm.
I don't think it's that back in the day rape was okay and now rape is wrong. I think rape was always wrong. It's just
Mm,
that it took us a while to realize it.
Yeah,
okay.
that makes a lot of sense.
So maybe in an imaginary world where a lot of different living species have to like com live together in the space, commute,
Coexist?
is that the word?
Coexist.
Commute.
Coexist.
Coexist.
Commute is when you
Coexist.
travel from
It's
one place to
traveling,
another.
Ah, damn. Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, if people if many intelligent lives, they will be able to make like laws that everyone like moral laws that everyone agrees with. How difficult do you think that would be?
Well, it's extremely difficult with one species on one planet, but I think the difficulty is one question. It'll clearly be more difficult the more uh, species you have, but
Hmm.
the the truth of it will not change. Like I really am a believer
Yeah.
that truth is an unchanging thing, even when it comes to ethical matters. Like the truth of the morality of a given action is is up for debate in the way that a mathematical proposition is up for debate. Like
Uh-huh.
you start with the right axioms, you get to the conclusion following logical steps. That's the right conclusion.
Yeah. And I think this problem does present itself in all tomorrows with the when the star people start terraforming and sending the species into different solar systems which are far away. The reason they don't like go themselves there and they just send their DNA to be bred in in these places, it's because it was so far away. But there is a moment where there is a star people like galactic utopia, where they are all very far away from each other, but they still all live in a utopia. It made me think of, I don't know if you have read Franz Kafka's The Great Wall of China.
Have not.
It's very interesting. It kind of presents the same problem, but in the historical context of the construction of the Great Wall of China, where I mean it's massive, right? The idea of the construction of the wall was supposed to be to protect the Chinese from Mongolian aggressors, right? But it took a long time to build this wall because it was just long, right? And it wasn't built like it wasn't. They didn't start building at one point and they just kept building it. No,
Yeah, that
they
was a bunch of
started
tiny
building it
walls.
in different places and they were trying to connect all these different walls. And the construction of the wall kind of followed this one idea that was the same in all the different parts where the wall was being constructed, and it was that there is this one emperor which is very far away. It's so far away that this emperor like is literally just like an imaginary concept, you know,
Hmm.
that everyone kind of follows, that dictates that this wall has to be constructed, right, to protect us from this danger, which is kind of dumb because the wall wasn't it just took too much time to be constructed, but the like all the humans which were were building the wall were so far apart, but they all shared one single idea, one single center uh moral idea, I feel. So if you kind of if you're able to construct the right idea, you could create a connection between different civilizations that literally have no possibility of contact with each other, even though they are the same species and they are the same. I don't know.
It's
No,
very
I think you're right.
interesting.
I think the baseline idea has to be flourishing, and that's exactly what the Q are lacking. Despite their power, despite their capability, they don't care much for flourishing itself.
Yeah,
They are more than willing to go against flourishing if it fits their twisted idea of collective punishment or collective justice or fixing the cosmos in some way or another.
Hmm.
That's
I,
that's what underlies the utopia.
I imagine the queue just being like a very, very big como monster that has extreme OCD. That's how I imagine the queue being like.
That's not
yeah,
far from how it's depicted, actually. That's pretty good.
basically, and it's interesting. It also made me think of is the human, well, it's basically human religion versus alien religion. We see that we as humans always seem to find a god that is more powerful than us, right, and accept this and understand that God brought us here, and that these gods kind of rule over everything we know and everything we can interact with. But it seems like the Q kind of at some point of the revolution, or they kind of flipped this notion, right? And it seems like the religion kind of goes against a god, right? It's a religion that is constructed not on the idea of worshiping a god, but kind of going
Of
Being
against a
a
god,
god.
of being one.
of
Yeah, of
being a god.
being
Yeah, and
being
going
one.
against a god because I mean, well, maybe they did abandon the idea of the existence of a god. Right? They became such extreme atheists that they gained this crazy god complex, and I
Yeah,
don't know.
honestly, I do think an atheist civilization is way more likely to do the sort of shit that the Q did than a religious or
No, no, totally,
organization.
totally. Yeah. The other guys that I was very amused by was the bone crushers,
Oh,
which
yes.
communicate by defecating on each other. They were also like caveman people. They were very like basic consciousness, caveman type
They were huge,
people,
no?
and
They were like giants.
I don't remember if they were big. They were the ones that had like this
Yeah,
beak.
the little
That
beak.
yeah,
I think
and
they were big.
they evolved into like medieval level civilization. And
And they
that was
still
like
chat on
as
each
far
other.
as they got. Then I don't even remember how they got extinct, but It's
But
those are also
they communicated how?
by defecating on each other.
You heard that right.
What
Which if you think
information do
about
they
it,
share
which if you
when they
think
do
about
that?
it, it kind of relates to the way many animals do communicate nowadays. If you think about it, I don't know, you can think about the jaguar, for example, which are solitary animals. And the jaguar kind of walks through the forest, and the jaguar has a state of health, right? It has a state of health, and depending on if the jaguar ate a fresh meal or found a dead meal, their poop is going to be different. And this kind of carries information that the jaguar has evolved to understand by smelling the poop of other jaguars. So it's very
Yeah, it's
basic
like
information, but it's like imagine a jaguar walking around and finding many different poops of other jaguars that are unhealthy, right? The jaguar kind of understands in a very primitive way that there is something wrong with the food in this area. That it will have to move to have a to be able to survive in a healthier place, you know.
I mean,
I
yes, but
don't,
from there, from getting information from the presence
yeah.
of fecal matter and the type of fecal matter to defecating on each other,
Wait,
that's
wait.
that's a leap.
I don't know.
Here's where the dominance comes in, right? You have to be the more dominant one, right? The more dominant will be the one who shits on you. If you're being shitted on, that makes you unattractive. Therefore, you evolve like you don't pass on your genes, and therefore, the ones who pass their genes are the ones who defecate on people, and that's how they're attractive, and that's why they evolve
Yeah,
that
I mean
way.
that's very basic, like evolutionary type of communication. What doesn't make sense to me is how the fuck they reached medieval level civilization. That is what just doesn't make sense to me.
Wait, but
That's what
they still defecate on each other for communication while being in the medieval era, or did they evolve out of
they,
it later?
they
Honestly,
don't
it sounds pretty
specify that.
medieval.
I
The
don't think they
medievals weren't
specify.
known for their hygiene.
No, but I mean like to organize a civilization in general, you need a bit more of a profound way of communicating than just with poop, you know.
Yeah,
Unless
probably.
they had like this capability of putting like conscious information in their poop. You know, like I don't know, their body
Oh.
just kind of and their neurons kind of develop
Or
this way to
maybe
impregnate
the rhythm,
information and
no?
code into their shit,
Or
Wait,
the
but
right?
rhythm in which they poop. Maybe it had like a rhythm and
like
maybe they
Morse
evolved
code.
to poop like yeah.
Like Morse code.
But I think maybe we're misunderstanding. I don't know if the book says they communicate everything through pooping on each other, or they communicate affection by pooping on each other.
Oh, there we go. That's another level of
Okay,
That
yeah,
seems
that's
more
true.
intelligence.
That's
likely,
true. I'm
which
I'm
it's still horrible.
Yeah, I'm quoting
All
the Shift
tomorrows.
X video because I just watched that. I haven't read the actual book, but I mean that's what this guy says. So
All communication.
it just says they communicate by defecating on each other,
I
which I don't
choose
know
to
how to
believe that the author
interpret. You
meant
know,
communicate affection.
La 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 la. Well,
Moving on. These the what were they called? The Titans? The
oh, the
ones that were like
Titans.
elephants?
Yeah,
Those are
those
cool.
are yeah,
why?
but
Tell me about them.
those are tragic too.
Put
They're
me into
just
context. I
They're these
demand.
massive elephant-like creatures. Their lip is like twisted, so it's like a
it
friggin' like a
becomes like an
trunk,
elephant
like an
tusk.
elephant trunk.
They have a long
Oh,
lip that articulates in that.
Yeah, and they use it
Yeah.
as a hand.
oh, awesome.
and they're massive, and they all went extinct because after the cube left their planet, there was an ice
Mhm.
age, and they all
Ooh.
died.
But it's funny because they did get to start developing uh, agriculture, and they started like building houses, and they started developing a language and developing like they almost reached like a human level civilization.
There
But
must be like a game, no? Like an evolution simulator where you could just edit, you can just be a cube and just edit the traits of like an animal and see how they do, no?
There is a game like that. I don't
But
remember
there,
the name of it, but it's a pretty
I
fun
remember,
game.
I remember a game about that or about viral infections
No,
because
no, it's
we
not
had a
plague Inc.
game.
It's not
Okay,
Plague Inc.
okay.
It's like you have an organism and you get to design it and you can give it like a tail and little arms. And at first
Ooh,
it starts out like as a microorganism and then you it becomes like a fish and you get to design the sort of fish that it becomes. And then it
dang,
becomes like a land animal and you get to like give it wings or give it feet or something. And
oh,
it's a very fun game. The game.
you the game.
We should probably
Yeah.
find
yeah,
that.
basically, yeah.
What was the name of that game? Maybe wait, let me see if I can find it on my phone. I think I have it on my phone.
I also have another question that kind of rose from is why would humans want to colonize other solar systems if they themselves cannot go there?
For flourishing.
It's a flourishing thing, but
Is it an instinct?
is it something actually realistic for the possibility of humanity, like actually caring enough about flourishment to develop this whole project to send human DNA
Think so.
into other solar systems?
I mean, we already sent what? We already sent like a disc or what we sent like
Yeah,
information, no? Like a
Voyager.
TV or what was it?
It was
A
a
disc.
disk. It was a like a
Hmm.
hard disk that Carl Sagan
Yeah,
sent
and
into
I mean,
space with all like the human information and stuff. But
it
it's not
it
DNA.
doesn't
I don't
it
know if
doesn't
it carries
cost
DNA.
anything, no? I don't think it would cost a lot of emotional damage if the DNA doesn't make it to the. It's like why not try, no? Why not spread? No, I
Yeah,
feel like that it's more like that than why care enough. It's more like why not? No,
The thing
yeah,
let's see
is,
what.
they didn't just like send DNA randomly into space so that it would. No, they sent it with machines. They sent machines to terraform other planets
Ah,
and to
oh,
introduce the DNA material to these planets to upbring the same human species, the same star people species
yeah.
into
It
other
was like,
solar systems.
have you guys played or watched Horizon Zero Dawn?
No.
we're
There's
not video
basically,
game people. I'm so
uh,
sorry.
it's so fun. It's a very fun game. Basically, there's a massive apocalypse because AI takes over and literally feeds on biofuel and like destroys everything.
Oh wow.
So the last ditch effort to save humanity is it's called Zero Dawn is basically letting the AI destroy everything, but creating a virus that's going to shut down the AI and then creating a bunch of like underground facilities where machines can breed humans and take them back into the world. And they create a
Oh,
whole bunch of different machines that terraform the world, bring grass back, bring trees back, bring birds back. And so
that's
you
very
have
smart.
these fucking
But if you
cavemen people and medieval people living with flying pterodactyl robots. It's a fun game.
Wow.
But if you
Fun game.
think about it, this kind of like this idea kind of comes from saving humanity,
Yes.
right? But in the case of all tomorrows, well, I don't they don't specify, but what I imagine is Because star people, like before sending themselves, well, not themselves as individuals, but their species into, they didn't have the need to. Like nowadays, we like the whole idea of colonizing Mars, for example. The idea of colonizing Mars, are we doing that because we can and we are and we now know how to develop technology for it, or because we have a real need for it?
Mhm.
But we think there is a need to prove one's capabilities. Like there wasn't a need to go to the moon. There was a
Yeah, I mean
need
that's a very good example. Yeah.
to show the Soviet Union, like, we can do this and you can't. So I think,
But the idea, I mean, it's again, we're not trying to go to Mars. We're trying to colonize Mars. And
yes,
it is because we are ending the well, we are approaching to the kind of a very fucked up situation for Earth, for our own planet. But
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know. Do you think it would take more technology to fix whatever the fuck is happening on Earth, or to go and colonize Mars? What would take more effort, more of an effort?
I mean,
I
terraforming
think that
Mars,
kind of answers the question,
terraforming
right?
Mars, terraforming Mars is extremely like difficult. I would say it takes more
It's,
energy to terraform Mars, which doesn't have an atmosphere that we can breathe. It doesn't have any fertile soil. It doesn't have water. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's an easy answer, no? Pero
yes, but I think this gets to, I think we were talking about this on either the last episode or the one before that, which is that as more and more of our needs are
Mm,
met, the challenges that fall to us are defined not by our needs, but by our goals. I think that's a massive thing. We, like, humanity will be much, much better off if we go toward the goal of space colonization. Because
Yeah, that's a
whether
very
we
good
do it or
point.
not, the Q are still out there. The only reason humanity in All Tomorrows ended up having any chance against the Q with the Asteromorphs is
Hmm.
because we made the Star People.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
So it's a
mm,
goal and a hypothetical need. Like eventually Earth will die. Eventually the solar system will die.
mm.
And it's like, how much of a head start do we want to give humanity against that inevitable end?
Yeah. I think
Hmm.
the thing now is like, mm, we would not, I mean, we would give ourselves a head start, but by doing so and neglecting our own planet's need, we're also like pushing the end closer, right? Which I mean, a corto plazo, like a short term, it's like a disastrous, and that's why nobody's thinking about that, right? Because right now, at short term, I mean like 500 years from now, what we want is stability on Earth in order to like keep on making technology to make it easier to maybe colonize or not, right? But this sense of wanting stability first, I think, is reasonable.
I don't know. No, I think exploration comes first and then stability. You know what this reminds me of? Did y'all watch Moana?
Qué
Oh
pedazo de
my
pregunta es
God.
esa? What
Everything
kind of
just
question is
clicked,
that?
no?
Yeah, no,
Did y'all watch
I thought about
Moana?
it. Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
They can't wait to achieve or preserve stability on the island to go out exploring because exploring is dangerous. Because the same thing that makes the outer world dangerous will corrupt and eventually destroy the island. Like the way to save the island is by going to other
is to
islands.
go out. Yeah, yeah, and kind of, yeah, trying to
That's
face a
the part of
problem before
Tahiti.
it even reaches you. And
But
that's
the
I
thing
think
is, the thing
that's a
is,
very
no, no,
interesting.
wait. Here's the
Go
catch.
ahead.
Yeah, but why? Why did Moana go out? In order to start expanding and colonizing? No, she did it to save her own planet, to crave stability. So it's like,
No,
no.
but at the end of the movie, they go out and they explore.
But to bring back to their island, like explore fish and stuff and like
No, the
catch better
whole point
fish.
was they had a tradition of exploring, and then they got scared and stopped doing it. And Moana has to do stuff to restore that tradition of going out and exploring.
Yeah,
Well, okay, yeah, like the end, the very end goal. Yeah. Okay. But like the movie plot, no. Okay? That you have to give to
That
me.
is the movie plot.
yeah, but that also presents a very interesting philosophical notion, I think, in a debate, right? Are we humans capable really of pre-seeing problems and solving them before they actually reach us? Or are we kind of dumb for that? I mean, I think Foucault kind of argues that we just can't do that, right? He says that we create laws to avoid problems once the problem already hit us, right? Once the problem already passed and it already damaged us, then we create the law to kind of avoid that problem again. But do we really, or do we as humans really have this tendency to look forward into possible problematic and I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think,
I think it's a
yeah,
very open debate. I think it's pretty
I would
subjective.
say that within our limits, we are very much capable of looking forward. Like if we compare that to any other like animal, we were different because we had the ability to imagine the strategy for hunting, for example, no? We we solved problems that were in the future, right? Um, but now that we've grown so much, our problems are way more complex and they can happen in way more like reach, no? We have so many other possible problems, and don't think we have infinite capability to see in the future, no? So we do have like a range, but obviously the unknown is unknown, no? That's my take on it.
I think the real advantage of space colonization is that we stop relying on a single planet. It's like,
Hmm.
how do I explain it? Human civilization becomes dispersed, uh, and it becomes a network rather than, just a single pale blue dot.
Hmm.
So if an asteroid, for example, hits the Earth, we can't prepare for that in advance, but we can have a bunch of different planets where we have humanity. So even if the Earth
Yeah,
gets fucked by an
that's
asteroid,
true. That's true. Yeah,
we can still survive
That's true. That's
as a
very true.
species.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That makes a lot of
When are
yeah.
we starting? Like when are we going?
So when people get off their asses, then they start letting Elon Musk send people there.
Yeah, and stop fucking doom scrolling all day long and fucking burning their brains and
Lock the fuck in, people.
stop submitting themselves to this mass dumbization that is going on.
It's very sad.
I wouldn't.
It's very
Let's
sad.
have hope. Let's have hope. Let's hope something changes. We
I have
can
hope.
notice that.
Maybe
I think we're
Rainbow
gonna be okay.
Squirrel, maybe Rainbow Squirrel will be the first man to colonize another planet. And we'll
Oh
make a
hell no.
podcast about it and we'll stream it for you guys.
I think the Rainbow Scroll is going to be the first chosen leader for interplanetary civilization. I think.
Yeah, I vote.
Hopefully
I
not.
vote for it.
Hopefully
I
not.
vote for
It
it.
would do a terrible job. But yeah,
Mhm.
those were all tomorrows.
All tomorrows, all tomorrows. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Shout out to wait, what was the name of the guy who wrote this shit? Shout out to CM Kosemen. I think he's German. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
We love
Kosemen.
you.
KO
Not
Seaman,
both
Knockout
humans.
Seaman, CM Knockout Seaman. Shout out.
What is your
I don't
thing
think that's
about?
how you say it.
I let's hope
I
he
don't know.
doesn't watch the video.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to.
Well, guys, like and subscribe, and we'll see each other next week, like always.